Shall I start?
Yes, yes.
Okay. Am I audible? Hello.
Yes, yes, you're audible.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So today we are going to analyze this topic, the Indian Hotels Company Limited. The Indian Hotels Company Limited, and its subsidiaries, also known as Taj Group, is owned by one of the famous business man of India, Jamshedji Tata. And the first Indian hotel company's hotel was launched in Bombay in 1903, known as Taj Mahal Palace. This company owns a lot of hotels, restaurants, jungle safaris, palaces, and also is engaged in flight catering services nowadays. Uh, it has more than 160 hotels in 80 locations, it's spread over 17 countries with over 20,000 rooms and 25,000 employees. The company is registered in NSE as well as BSE. IHCL operates in the luxury, premium, and mid market with various of its exotic brands such as Taj, Taj Exotica, Taj Safari, Vivanta, Gateway, Selections, etc. The company is also recently has also tie up with a luxury private jet corporation known as Taj Sets Catering Limited, which is one of the largest airline catering services in South Asia. If we talk about before COVID-19 situation, the company had accounted for 40% of the customer mix in its portfolio. If we talk about the industry sector, then, with the tradition of Atiti Devo Bhava, as we know all, the Indian tourism is one of the biggest profitable industries in India, with over 8.78% of profit and providing jobs up to 15 million. In the wake of COVID-19 pandemic, tourism and hospitality industry is a worst hit right now because of closing of restaurants and all, and it's expected to hit a revenue loss of 1.5 trillion, and many of the big hotel chains in India. So, in order to get over the situation, many of the big hotel chains in India, like Charlotte Hotels, Indian Hotels itself, and Lemon Tree, all of these are looking for restructuring their assets and deleveraging their portfolio. As because of this time, a lot of debt is into their balance sheets, and they are not able to pay because they have no profitability right now. So because of that, they are trying to, some of them are exiting also the industry. Now let us look at the QGLP section, quality. Tarun, can you please slide down? Okay, so if we look at the quality of business and management, the iconic Taj brand, which we all know, is ranked number one in the list of strongest Indian brands by one of the agency, that is Brand Finance, which which analyze 100 companies on the basis of its company position, employee management, and profitability and other factors. So this company has been ranked as number one. The execution, there was an plan of the company to build 200 to build the something like 500 hotels, and till now they have achieved this target by building 200 hotels till now. And the main quality of this hotel is their luxury and comfort that it provides. At every hotel, they ensure that the regular training of associates is done regarding first aid, firefighting, and disaster management. And currently, the company has consistently maintained the 1:1.9 employee to room ratio. It means that every employee will have to manage around 2 rooms. So apart from that, the company is also very good in its waste management and other CSR activities. So it has shown that it has shown that on the out of the total hotels, 80 hotels are there where they have achieved 100% recycling of organic waste. If we talk about the growth section, the company has reported recently the company's quarter four position has came upon, and it has shown the 38% net decline in consolidated net profit. It also launched Selections as a brand recently and repositioned its brand Ginger in the luxury segment with 20% of portfolio under it. And the room sales, as we know in the hotel industry, what we judge the profitability is by the room sales. So the room sales in 2019 has increased by 6%. And during the financial year under review, we are seeing that IHCL, Indian Hotels Company, has recently signed to acquire 29 hotels, adding over 3,700 more rooms to its portfolio. So now we'll look at longevity and price. Tarun, can you slide down? Tarun, hello.
Hello.
Can you please slide
Actually,
a little down? Yeah. Okay. So
hello
if we look at
everyone.
the longevity, hello, any problem? Okay. So if we
Actually,
look
please
at the
continue.
longevity side, um, the 5-year program is launched by the company, which is known as Aspiration 2022, with a motto of restructuring, re-engineering, and reimagining. So this company is basically what doing is they are not targeting big targets like 10-year 15-year, but achieving its target to 5 years, right? So it has achieved till now, it has achieved 50% objectives of building 200 hotels under its brand. The company has also invoked the force majeure clause for relief during the lockdown period, and it is not going to comply to any of the rules under this clauses of raw material supply or anything that it may have they have been in contract before COVID-19. So they have no obligation right now. And the employee retention ratio is 80%, indicating that the company can keep its employee for the long time. If we talk about the price, the company has a very low debt to equity ratio of just 0.33 as compared to its peers. This is because of the asset light model, which Tarun will explain later. The dividend per share offered to its shareholders is 0.50 per share. It shows that the company is offering very good return to its investors. The beta of the company stands at 1.2, showing that the stock is volatile as compared to its peers. Um, Also, the price to earning ratio of the company stands at 26.17, which is really great if we compare it to its industry average of 26.7. Now, Tarun will continue.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible.
Am I audible? Yeah. Are you able to see the second page?
Yes, yes, continue.
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Hello everyone. Now I'll continue with story in graphs. So we can observe that there is an operating income increasing trend in past 5 years, including the latest 2020 results. This and also there is moderate growth in fixed and variable cost, which led to increased EBITDA margins among the years, implying that there is a high operating efficiency of the company. Even though sales took hit in 2020 compared to 2019, we can observe that in highlights. Company managed to pull out like around 402 crores of net profit compared to 264 crores in 2019, which is a good thing. And if we consider again in the graph price to earnings ratio, which is share price relative to per share earnings, it is actually in past 4 years it's on decreasing trend, which we can imply from that it's moving towards undervaluation compared to its earnings as companies performing well in recent years. So we may think it's moving towards somewhat undervaluation, and it's relatively less than its peers also, which we'll see in below table. Again, if we if we proceed with financial highlights, we can observe one more valuation ratio, that is enterprise value to EBITDA. Here we can observe that enterprise value is nothing but value of firm, which includes that debt value, cash equivalents, and all. So in general, we'll assume that if it's high, it's overvalued; low, it's undervalued. There is no perfect cutoff for that, but the company is it's in recent years it's on a decreasing trend. So which is again showing some inclination towards undervaluation, and mm, it's also less compared to its peers. We'll observe that. Mm, Next, we can see earning per share also increasing compared to financial 19, now in 20. And if we consider profitability ratios, that is return on equity and return on capital employed, return on equity is increasing in past 5 years. It's on increasing trend, and capital was increasing till 19, but there was slight decrease in 20. Uh, this may be catered to the fact that there is an addition of debt in the total capital in 2020. We can see that as debt equity ratio is increased from 0.28 in 19 to 0.37 in financial year 20. And next, we can also observe that return on assets is also on continuous increasing trend, that company is able to utilize the assets efficiently in producing the profits. And if we consider this last point, that various fixed related costs like employee, power, fuel, this lighting costs and all, they constituted around 30% of the revenue. Actually, if you consider industry average, it is generally around 50 to 60%, which is less than the industry average, which is a good thing for the company. So that it may, even though if profitability is affected, it manages to some extent. Then if we come to peer comparison, we have selected four major hotel hotel industry sector companies, that is Indian Hotels, Mahindra Holiday, Chalet Hotels, Lemon Tree Hotels. And we can observe that among these both valuation ratios and profitability ratios, that Indian Hotels is standing apart, and it's better than its peers. Showing in valuation, it's showing some undervaluation because of better performance than its peers, and return on capital and return on equity also better than its peers. Then we can sorry. Next, we can consider this graph. This is actually ADR, means average daily rate. That implies average revenue per room per day, and OR means occupancy rate, that is percentage of space occupied compared to the available space. So these two along with revenue per available room, these three are key performance indicators in hotel industry. So I consider those things. These are in increasing trend in the past 5 years. One more thing is that hotel industry has this tradition of considering the trends in industry cycles, like there are downward cycles and upward cycles. Before 2015, it was actually downward cycle, and from 2015 it experienced upward cycle, which is intact, means still it's delayed. So it's supporting this growth of occupancy ratio and average daily rate, that is revenue per room per day. So as both are increasing, then revenue available per room also actually experienced by the company is also increasing. So it's a good thing for the company. Next, we will proceed to risk and concerns part. Even though it's managed good in profitability and margins, the cash flows in recent years, mainly in last 2 to 3 years, it's in decreasing trend and its negative cash flows are also observed. This can be catered to the fact that there is an company is trying to close its, decrease its debts by debt repayments and all. And it is also considering some capex requirements, like recently if we consider in December 2019, like that, it entered into an agreement with government of Singapore investment, government something related to Singapore Investment Corporation, mainly investing in fully operational hotels. So, like capex requirements and debt repayments were taken into consideration for this negative cash flows, decrease in cash flows. Next, if we consider, obviously because of current conditions, first half year of financial year 21 is going to be bothering because of cancelled and deferred travel plans of customers, and also from company side, work from home policies and no travel policies are adopted because of the new norms and rules from the government side. Next, if we come to one more thing is concerning is that the revenue and profitability of the company is mainly depending on these luxury hotel segments like Taj, Selections, Vivanta is high, and also some overseas properties are there in key areas around the world, which are moderating the overall performance apart from standalone as a whole. And one more thing is, if we consider revenue from this lucrative segments, uh, like MIC is meetings, incentives, conferencing, exhibitions, mainly related to this corporate events, and food and beverages, like the group under this company, that is Taj Sats, is into airline catering, as I already explained, which may take severe hit during this crisis, main hit during this crisis. And next, I will proceed to conclusions and investment view. Here we can observe that, as already explained, and this is a bit more detailed, like brand finance company, consultancy company, they have rated Taj brand, given brand strength index score of 90.5 out of 100 and brand strength rating of AAA plus rating, which is like they're considering this as a very valuable and strong brand in the entire India, based on the factors such as in marketing, investment, familiarity, loyalty, employee satisfaction, customer experience, such that these factors remain strong for the company even now. So that is a very good thing for the company. Next, we can see the main things, like which are backing up the IHCL or their balanced portfolio, strong brands, as we have seen, and customer relationship, corporate customer relationships, presence across price points, and presence across price points that can be explained like Taj Selections and Vivanta Ventures captures premium segment customers. Ginger captures lean luxury economy as those segments customers. So if it is diversified in that way, then if there are any fluctuations in business cycles, then the company can manage because of that diversification. And also it has funding support from parents in time to time, as Tata Group, as already explained, is having almost 40% shareholding in the company parent group. and also asset light model, which is an important thing, which is company is following right now. Matlab, actually in financial year 18, it was around 32% of their rooms were under management contract. They were having some majority of the portion under owned proportion, that is owned rooms. And so in financial year 20 ending, they have increased it to 43, and their target is that by the year of 2022 they want to increase it to 50%, so that they can balance both owned proportion and management contract proportion in 50-50 ratio, 1:1 ratio. So this can help the company to decrease the debt in following years, to go on low leverage, maintain that low leverage. Next, if we see certain industry experts, like one more hotel consultancy company, that is Hotel Evit, that industry experts seem optimistic about this demand supply scenario, which is another trend going on. Like till this current crisis, the demand supply gap was seen to be closing. So which is a good thing, which company can cash on. But even if we consider current situations, they are hoping that there can be new demand can be created, like instead of, even though bookings are cancelled, uh, like transfer of wedding destinations, shifting of wedding destinations, such type of new demand can be created, compensated with that decreasing demand. And one more thing is, they are creating, mainly these hotel companies like Indian hotels, they are creating new normal in hospitality. We can also observe that it is already being experienced by the customers who are in quarantine during the lockdown. They have experienced new normal in these hospitals, so hotels. So they'll try to continue that, and even in future also customers will go for trusted brands like Indian hotels amid these situations, as long as they continue to exist. So I think as a whole, in long term view, uh, keeping aside this short term disturbances, it's a good investment, I feel. So I think I'll conclude with this.